bond between brothers is a powerful emotional connection. It can run from best friend to worst enemy and everything in between. And it's not always the easiest thing. But what happens when the person you've looked up to all your life betrays you by looking you straight in the eye and telling you a lie? And you know it. Now, the smart thing to do would be to distance yourself from this toxic person as quickly as possible. But that's not John Marvin Murdaugh's personality. John may not believe his brother Alex deserves his family's support, but family supports each other no matter what. Hi, this is Danny from Mysterious Things, where I take a mystery story and I try to find some insights into what happened. Randy's story is part 1 of this set, and this is part 2 about John. I highly suggest watching part 1 before you watch this video, as it gives much more background there than I will have in this one. It's linked below. That said, let's talk about John. John Marvin Murdaugh, at 51 years old, is the youngest of the 3 Murdaugh brothers. Now, a quick look at John's Facebook profile shows an interactive outdoor family man, including so many photos of him with his late father and his kids holding rifles, hunting deer, and fishing. He seems to be, as the youngest siblings most often are, the most fun, the happiest, and the less concerned with status. Now, let me make this distinction. John may not have wanted to follow his father into the family business, but he still wants those close family relationships. So by allowing his brothers to worry about business, John's focus seems to be on relationships. And why do I say that? Well, first of all, he wasn't into the blood-sucking family law business. He chose instead to be a local businessman who cultivated relationships with businesses and customers in the area. He spent time with his parents, particularly his father, who's shown over and over on John's profile on fishing trips and hunting expeditions with his son at his side. He spent time with his own family. Trips and outdoor activities seemed to be a large part of his life. He was first on the scene of Paul and Maggie's murders and supported his brother by leading investigators for SLED, the South Carolina Law Enforcement Department, around the property. Although the oldest brother, Randy, has taken the lead on most of the interactions with the media, John did show up to the June 17th Good Morning America interview, where he nodded as his brother spoke, and he cried a lot on camera. John has made some media missteps with regard to his surviving nephew, Buster, Alex and Maggie's oldest son. The murders happened on June 7th, 2021. Less than a month later, pictures leaked of John and Buster at John's 4th of July party, smiling and posing for a photo in front of a lake. There are also photos of Buster and John playing cards at the Venetian Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada, in October of 2021, 3 months after the murders. These may have been John's innocent attempts at getting his nephew's mind off the tragic murders for a little while. But in the media's eyes, it made Buster look like a spoiled rich kid that didn't care that his mother and brother were murdered and his dad was in jail. Now, it makes sense that John would be the one to keep an eye on Buster. He seems to be the family member with the most heart. But let's look at what the cards have to say about John and his involvement in the Murdaugh family murder saga. Okay, for John Malcolm Murdaugh, we're going to use the Wildwood tarot cards. John's a hunter, so maybe these forest cards will give us a little more insight into John and his involvement in the murders of Maggie and Paul Murdaugh, his sister-in-law, and his nephew. Also, his relationship with his brothers Randy and Alex. And with this, whatever business that they are in, is causing so much turmoil in Hampton, South Carolina. So we're talking about Randy. We're talking about John Malcolm Murdaugh. I'm going to do a regular Celtic cross, and we'll see what we can find out about Randy and his involvement. With let's see what we can come up with here. Okay, forgive me for a minute. I had realized that I had not pulled a future card, so I went ahead and pulled that and then organized these all out flat so that you can see them better. And now we're ready to do the reading. So here we go. The first card that comes up is the Mirror. This is John. Mirror is a reflection. It talks about seeing things from a different perspective than the rest of his family. I think that's probably pretty clear. That's why he didn't go into the family law firm in the first place. He is not incompetent, and he knows that his family was involved in things, and he didn't really want to be involved in them. So that's kind of John. Thing from a different perspective. What crosses him is the Blasted Oak. The Blasted Oak is kind of a cross between the Tower and the Hangman in the regular cards. It means turmoil that is puts you in a state of suspension. So he's found himself in sort of a tsunami of destruction. He thought he was in a safe place, but that was an illusion. So that's what's crossing him. A little bit more about what's going on with him is that he didn't fully understand. This is the Ten of Bows, a responsibility, which is upside down. He didn't fully understand what his family was into. His decision to keep a blind eye prevented him from helping his brother. And now his own life is out of control. So it is a reflection of his not keeping his eye on the ball when he knew the ball was bouncing off in the wrong direction. And now it's come back to affect him. In the immediate past, we have the Eight of Bows. Now, this side would be family and celebration, but this is his family, yes, but they are not safe. They are not united, and he is considering whether his involvement, which was different from his brother's, will be exposed. He's honestly thinking about flipping on his brother or on his family to save himself, his wife, and his kids. What crowns him, which is the most about this reading, are his skills. And he has honed his skills over the years. He's worked hard to keep out of his family's affairs, but all of his efforts have not kept him free of the disgrace. So he thought if he could just worked hard and kept his nose out of things, he could fly under the radar, but that's not what happened. So now he's involved in the whole mess, and he's really not happy about it. In the immediate future, we have the Three of Arrows: heartbreak, emotional tension, anger, resentment, and negative behavior toward family, friends, and business partners. He very much feels betrayed. He feels that he has the right to turn on his brothers because they dragged him into this and mucked up his life when he was trying to stay out of things. He tried to be supportive, and they've lied to him. So I think he's very much in the future bitter and resentful of what's happening. Now down here is home, and home is the hare, and she's linked to the spring. I think this is his wife. I think she understands the situation even more than he does. And she might be the one urging him towards clearing himself and telling them he doesn't owe them anything. Throw the rest of the family under the bus. It's the wife. This is the hopes and fears. Oh, I'm sorry. This is the people around him. Someone in his life that's lazy and pointless, and someone he feels justified in turning in on. Is that Alex? Probably. He thinks Alex tries to take the easy way out, and that's what got him in this situation. His hopes and his fears, I'd say this is his fear. There are a lot of broken bows on the grounds here, and you can see the fire in the background, and he's there's all this work that he's done that he wants to complete, and he has to make a decision. So it's time for him to make a decision. And he's afraid of the change and the pain and everything that it's going to cause. So he needs to be prepared. He needs to see it as a positive turning point. And finally, the ultimate outcome is the Six of Bows, and that is reversed. He's going to suffer. This is not going to be easy for him. And he won't go down if he chooses the right path, but he will feel free and healed and free of all that negativity brought to him by his entire family from his great-grandfather forward. He'll be able to start over, have peace and satisfaction, but he's got to make the decision to save himself and his immediate family, his wife and children, and let the brothers go. This is going to be the hardest thing in the world for him to do, and I'm not sure whether he can do it. His personality is to be helpful, but they have taken advantage of him, and he's at the breaking point, and with the wife really pressuring him to get out of this mess before they get hurt. I think he's got some big decisions to make. We'll see what happens with John. We'll keep an eye on that. Maybe we'll do another reading down the road. But as of now, here's the energy of what's going on there. And I think that John is in some big turmoil on whether to tell what he knows and save himself. So that's my reading. I hope you liked it. Please comment down below and tell me what you think is going on with John and whether you think he knows more than he is letting on. You can also help me solve these mysteries. Join the Armchair Detective Club on Patreon and get a free Armchair Detective sticker and more. And see my Patreon link below. I put out the videos 2 days in advance on Patreon of when they go on YouTube, so you'll get first crack at taking a look at what these things do. And I think it'll be really fun and interesting to crack these cases together. Okay? So thank you so much, and until next time, bye-bye. So this is a beautiful flat chain herringbone. It's very pretty with the gold center and gold trim. And then I have these clip-on earrings that are brushed gold and silver tone. They're not real. They are Les Bernard earrings. Gorgeous, collectible, vintage earrings. You'll find these on my Etsy shop, and the links are down below.